I am doing this video solely for the one person that during every single TikTok live I've had for a few months now, and under every single one of my community posts has been asking me, where is the 2023 Eurovision Revisit? This is for you. Hello, my name is Freyr. I am your favorite local forest gremlin, a Polish sociology student and a pop culture enthusiast. And today I will be walking down memory lane once again to this time revisit Eurovision 2023, which took place in Liverpool. This year I feel like is mostly remembered for one thing, and that is the Loreen versus Karia discussion, which, as you all see, I don't really care that much about. Frankly, I really don't care. And actually, no, it's remembered by two things. It's that, and also the amount of songs that got robbed because of it. This is one of those editions that I feel like everybody kind of knew how it would end. It would always be a showdown between Sweden and Finland. And because of that, a lot of these songs, I don't feel like got a fair shake that they deserved, especially based on their quality, as you will see from my ranking. Honestly, in my opinion, this year sort of lacks in the variety department, especially when you compare it to 2024, which was literally right after. This year has a lot of those like ballads and safe pop songs. It's really, genre-wise, it doesn't really do much interesting stuff anywhere. There are a few that do stand out on that level, and we're gonna talk about them, but it more so like reminds me of 2025, the edition that we just had in Basel, where literally half of the lineup was just ballads. And as a result, the entire edition to me, even though it's the most recent one, is already pretty forgettable. Although 2023, I think 2023 delivered on quality a little bit more than 2025 did. So yeah, I at least I feel like I hold some of these songs way closer to my heart than some of the 2025 songs. Let's just say that. Now, how this is gonna work is we're gonna go down every single song from last place to first place. We're gonna talk about them briefly. We're gonna rank them. Well, I'm gonna rank them. And yeah. You may see that there's 35 places on the board, not 37, and we had 37 entries in the contest, but as always, I am excluding Israel and Azerbaijan. So yeah, before we begin, I would like to remind you to please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already. We are very close to 2,000 subscribers, and that would be an incredible goal to hit by the end of October. I would really love to get there, so if you haven't already, please do. You can also like the video, comment down below, you can share it around with your friends, and you can follow me on all of my other socials, which include Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, and many others. Those are also going to be listed in the description box below. Thank you in advance. And with that, let's begin.
How many people were scared? Me too.
I'm gonna preface what I'm gonna say by the fact that I love San Marino, and if you've seen any of the previous parts of this series of the Eurovision Revisits, you know that I love San Marino. San Marino is one of my favorite countries in Eurovision because it's just fun. It's a lot of chaos. They don't really get good results, but that doesn't matter. They are silly, they are whimsical, and I love them for that. This, however, is an exception. This entry creeps me the fuck out. Like an Animal is abysmal on all fronts. I think musically it doesn't do anything to me. Vocally live, girl. And then the lyrics, I kind of find them a little disturbing. I'm not gonna lie. I think they are gross. This is gonna be a very short section because honestly, I don't like remembering that this song exists. In my opinion, the perfect run of the San Marinese entries, which, yeah, it is perfect actually. It is perfect, and I will argue with you about that. The perfect run of the San Marinese entries doesn't include this one because this one is just so like, yeah, no. I listened to this song 3 times in my entire life. Once when it came out because I wanted to know how it sounded like. Once during the semifinal, which was an interesting viewing experience, let's just say that. And the third time for the purposes of this video. And I started writing this video with this song. And that made me question whether I wanted to do this. So, yeah. Good job, I guess. San Marino placed last in this edition of the contest, and they also placed last in my ranking. So yeah, that's, I guess, a fitting start, although not a very good one. And things don't really get better after this because we go to Romania. I feel very sad for Theodor because he clearly has potential. He is a very interesting artist in my opinion, and I also really, really like his voice. I think he has this like raspiness to it that really, really intrigues me. However, this song, it's just not anything I would ever put on. I also think that, you know, the 2 euros in a dream can work in Eurovision sometimes, and actually, oftentimes it does. Like, look at Moldova. But at the same time, you know, it cannot work every time, and it's clear that it didn't in this case. This staging is, quite frankly, I think the worst one of the year. It's just, nothing happens really. It's confusing and it doesn't help the song at all. And I don't really blame Theodor for that because, as we know, the Romanian broadcaster did not really do much to help him. So if Romania were to come back to the contest like soon, I would actually really like to see Theodor get a fair shot and actually be able to participate with the backing from the broadcaster, because it's clear that they just didn't give two shits about him. And I think that's very sad. Romania places 33rd in my ranking. So up next we have the Busker from Malta. And I think this is where we get into the controversial territory of the video, well, slightly, because I actually kind of enjoy this. Like, yeah, it's not the heights of musical genius or anything. It doesn't really do much to push the envelope one way or another, but at the same time, it's just really fun. It's really enjoyable. And I find it very, very charming, actually. I think that it just wasn't probably unique enough to capture people's attention. And also, I think in the semifinal, if I'm not mistaken, this went directly after Norway, which that is kind of a tough act to follow, not gonna lie. But I think that the staging was a lot of fun. I love the little like projections they had on the screen with like acts. I actually think that the storytelling in this performance is really, really strong. I also love the costuming, the sweater, and then the more like sequin or like glittery sweaters or whatever they were. Those were really fun. I actually don't hate the sax in this song either, which is an accomplishment. And also another very, very cute detail in my opinion is the cardboard cutouts of the previous Maltese representatives that are present on the stage at one point. I think that is very, very cute. So yeah, this song is just a good time and I cannot bring myself to hate it. So you will be surprised about how high it is in my ranking. Malta officially places 19th in my ranking. I'm pretty sure that this is gonna piss off some people. Tell me more about me. You are...
State your name and your media house.
Up next is Azerbaijan, and they brought the Snooze Fest. I don't really have much to say about this really. This is the Snooze Fest of the year, and as we now know, Azerbaijan is extremely qualified when it comes to that, because they did that literally the next year as well with their entry. And you know what? If you have a niche, I guess stick to it. Okay, so basically what this entry is, it's Frodo and Sam from Lord of the Rings coming together to make some quite boring music with very, very interesting sounds. Like, one thing you have to give to this entry is that it's basically a Cupcake remix at this point. Yeah, this is just very boring. The singing is, I guess, okay. The rapping is pretty bad. It's just so anticlimactic. It's so forgettable. There's just not much to say about this, honestly. Let's just move on, because I'm not ranking this. Goodbye to the start. Life will be falling apart. Hey! I love Denmark. I think Denmark is a beautiful country. I've actually been a few times. I've been twice to like the actual country of Denmark, and then I did visit Bornholm once, which I think is like a Danish territory. I don't really know what the situation there is. I think it's like Danish or something. I count that as being in Denmark, honestly. But yeah, every time I go to Denmark, it's a good time. I love the country. I think the people are very nice. I love the views and the sea. I really love Denmark. However, my love for Denmark isn't enough to justify this monstrosity of an entry. There are songs that are simply bad, but there are also songs that specifically go out of their way to make sure you notice how incredibly bad they are. And that is the second option here. This is horrible on all fronts. I'm sorry, I was never prone to enjoying anything like this because this song sounds like it was made in a lab specifically for the purpose of a TikTok trend that dies in like 3 days. And I am not into that at all. But when it's taken to the Eurovision stage, it gets even worse, really. That staging was horrible. I think it's so bland. And I feel like they were trying to go for this like pastel-y, bright, sparkly aesthetic for this because it kind of fits the song, I guess. But what they ended up creating is just so like toned down that it doesn't really create any fantasy. It's really cold and lifeless. And then Riley's voice is just the cherry on top of this absolute shit cake. It's horrible, really. Listen, there's nothing wrong with needing autotune to sing. I feel like we've seen a lot of singers make careers despite their heavy use of autotune. Like, it's not a problem, but you can't do that at Eurovision. And the worst part about this song to me is that this won a national final. Like, people voted for this. How did that happen? There's no decorum, there's no concept. It just seems so lifeless and manufactured. Actually, if you were to tell me that this was like made by AI, I would believe you. So yeah, I think that this entry is one of the worst things to ever happen to Eurovision. And I stand by that. Denmark lands itself in my 34th place and we can move on. Thank God. So this song I think is quite nice, actually. I think it sounds like something I'd be prone to enjoying. You know, I do listen to a lot of music that's a little bit more low-key. It seems like it fits my vibe, but at the same time, this is a little bit more on the generic side, and thus I don't really have much interest in it, like at all. I find it both very easy and very difficult to believe that Duncan Lawrence, of all people, wrote this, because when you look at his music and his catalog, like, it actually makes sense. But at the same time, it seems that like this was written as like an exercise. You know, a lot of songwriters say that they write certain songs during songwriting sessions as like exercises, and then they get to the real deal. This seems like the exercise because this lacks the depth, this lacks the emotion. Even in the musical department, it just lands flat. Like, it almost sounds like a random ass ballad that you would see in some random national final, say like, I don't know, Estilau, that just places like, say, 8th in the final of said national final and then is forgotten forever. That's kind of the vibe of this. And that's not good. This staging, I don't know if I like it really. It's at least they did something, you know, and the vocal also wasn't great. I don't think it was like that bad as people made it out to be. I think that this wasn't really that horrible. I know they had some pretty bad pre-party performances, and that's why everybody was like so worried about the vocal performances. I don't think they were that bad at the actual contest, but they also weren't really that good either. So yeah. Netherlands place 29th in my ranking. We Are One is another entry that I genuinely hate. Hera Björk heard this at Eurovision and then decided that it's time for her to return and to show wild youth who is the real queen of traveling agency advertisement background music. Also, unpopular opinion maybe, because I know that this guy is liked by a lot of people, but this song is exactly how Alex Warren's music sounds to me. And that is not a compliment. I honestly don't really even want to talk about this because it's bad on all fronts, but the outfits, specifically on the lead singer girl, like, I'm afraid I might have to even like blur that because it does look a little, you know. But then the absolute like lack of any energy, the numbness of this performance, the bad vocals, the lazy ass staging is just not anything I would ever enjoy. And frankly, I think that this is a new low, even for Ireland. 32nd place goes to Ireland.
Well, you know what they said.
Okay, so I'm gonna try to be a little bit less harsh on Victor because I know that he was 16 when he participated, and that's something that's gonna be very, very stressful for a lot of people, I'm assuming, especially for somebody who's still a teenager. But then again, there's not many nice things I can say about this, really. This song ultimately was always going to be a problem, and by the way, speaking of Alex Warren as music, this song fits into that idea of music perfectly, in my opinion. Like, did Alex Warren just watch a compilation of Eurovision 2023 non-qualifiers and decide to build his musical aesthetic around that? Is that what he did? This song isn't like offensive to my ears, but it's also not something that I would ever enjoy, really. But what really killed this, in my opinion, is the staging and also the styling on Victor, because girl, first of all, that outfit looks like he is a, I don't know, school student and not a Eurovision participant. Like, he looks like he's going on a field trip with his school. And then the staging, like the big ass projections of Victor's face in the background. Not to be mean, but like they have like an uncanny valley factor to them, and I find them very weird. And frankly, they do kind of make me uncomfortable. And then his energy is also a problem. It's very clear that he doesn't know how to carry this song in a live performance. He's over there just jumping, making unnecessary movements that don't fit the song. I think this exact performance was the reason why I was so nervous about the chances of Celia Kapsis qualifying for Cyprus the following year, because she was also like 16, I think, at the time. I was just like, okay, this isn't gonna work. But turns out it all comes down to experience, I guess. So yeah, this is kind of a flop, and especially in Greece's run of songs, this feels extremely weird, especially this decade, because they've been qualifying every year. They made it to the top 10 several times already. It's just like a very weird detour for them. Greece places 31st. I love how the bottom is already just like filling up. Should this have qualified? Honestly, looking at the lineup, I don't know. There are maybe like 2 songs in the final that I would potentially enqueue over this one. But at the same time, I think Echo has always been a bit of a weird entry for me. I like it on the musical front. I think it's dramatic, it's interesting, it does something. But then we have to talk about that staging, which in my opinion was very odd. And also the lyrics, which, okay, the lyrics are a little bit more excusable because we know that Euro got heavily censored. And the real message of Echo is just nowhere to be seen because of that. But that staging is inexcusable, in my opinion. I don't really hate the LED screens that much, although I do think that, honestly, this could have benefited from not having them and just using the normal, regular LED that the stage in Liverpool had to offer. What I do really hate is the outfit that Euro has on, because the dress itself is nice, but that train, girl, that train is so fucking long, and for what reason? It would have been so much more effective if the train was shorter and they would have put her in front of like a wind machine, because then that creates movement and creates drama, and you can actually use the LED screens to boost that. It's just, I feel like there is a missed opportunity here to really, really make a show, and they just didn't take it. Also, these camera angles were quite weird. So yeah, I think that this is a decent entry, but it just didn't come together. And yeah, in hindsight, I kind of get why this didn't qualify. Georgia places 25th in my ranking, and yeah, unfortunately, it's not very high, but we still stand Euro. She's a queen. We love her.
I'll try to say the right words at the right time.
Eurovision was not advanced enough for an entry of this kind, and it honestly kind of makes me sad. This isn't my winner whatsoever, and it's not even close, but I still really dig the vibe of Aya. I love it. I like the giant lights in the background. I love the vibe of it. I just in general, I'm really mesmerized by Southern Lights. The song is just really beautiful, and I feel like in some way it's like a predecessor to some future Eurovision entries that we got to see in the form of like Deslocado or Hollow. The lyrics to this one, I think that this is one of the best written songs in this edition. I also think that final chorus is an incredible moment, and that outro in Latvian gives me chills every time. This is one of those songs that delivers on artistic value, but because of its placing, it kind of hurts the chances of other songs that are in like a similar vein coming in the future. Because in the eyes of a fandom, every single song that sounds similarly to this is gonna basically get the Aya treatment and is gonna fail to qualify, is gonna be close to qualifying, but is not gonna qualify. I feel like that was a lot of the discourse around Just Locado this year, and it made me really, really sad because I was really, really rooting for them hard. And I mean, they still qualified, but you know, a lot of people didn't really believe in them. And I think their trajectory could have been much different had they had the support and the belief behind them this entire time. But you know, sometimes art and authenticity wins over sparkly bodysuits and dance breaks. It just sadly wasn't this year. Not to be mean to Diliao, but this being the borderline qualifier is extremely confusing to me. Like, really, no hate to her. I love her. I think her energy is perfect. But this song is just very, very underwhelming. And it was staged horribly. Like, this is top 5 worst stagings of the year, in my opinion. She has a phenomenal voice and is an incredible performer. I think her voice and her personality nearly saved this song. But ultimately, they aren't enough. This would drown down the leaderboard in most national finals. And that chorus especially is very almost infuriating to me. I do not understand what this staging is meant to do for the song. Like, why are there projections of plants on the LED? Why are we dancing on a leaf? Why are we doing spinning camera shots around Diliao? And why did we dress her like this? Like, it truly, they didn't bother giving her a fighting chance. The only thing they got correctly was the performer, and the rest needs to go back to the drawing board. Iceland places 27th in my ranking, and now we can go to the final lineup. Germany. And I don't say this often about Germany, really, but Germany was robbed. Eurovision is sometimes really, really annoying to me in this sense because it makes me so mad how entries like these get shafted by everyone and end up getting, you know, last place when fucking things like Brividi in 2022 go to the top 10. Where is the logic? I get that sometimes robberies are gonna occur. That's just a thing that happens when you have a competition-based show. But at the same time, robberies like these send a very, very clear signal to music industries across Europe that something that is slightly more rock, heavy metal adjacent is just not gonna do well at the contest. It shows that the audience and the juries voting aren't equipped really to handle anything outside of pop and its many subgenres that are present in the contest. And then we end up with situations like 2025 where most of these songs were pop songs or ballads, and there wasn't anything really that was that adventurous. There wasn't a singular rock entry aside from maybe Armenia, and that still wasn't a metal entry. And also, most of these songs, because they are so safe, they just age like milk. Nobody remembers them afterwards. They lack uniqueness to stand the test of time. That's what happens when entries like Blood and Glitter get paid dust. And I would say that's even more of the case for Ulvaham in 2024, which don't even get me started on that one. This song is epic. The growls, the outfits, the staging was perfect. The color schemes that they picked out for this are just everything to me. I love the song itself. It's just, I love Lord of the Lost. I am such a big fan. Really, really incredible music. Yeah, I mean, this song could have potentially been better. Like, yeah, maybe, but it's still very, very good. I feel like they could have went harder on it, but still, it's clearly better than 26th place. Dare I say, it's better than most of the songs that placed above it. So, yeah, I said what I said. We have our first top 10 entrant with Germany placing 10th, and now we can move on to the UK. I love Mae Miller. I genuinely do. She is an icon. I love her, and wouldn't you know it, I actually kind of enjoy this song as well. Especially the studio version. Like, it's a banger. It's the yearly disaster bop, I guess, but it's still fun. I really enjoy it. Was the staging more than questionable? Yeah. Still, did I have a good time watching this? Absolutely. It's just fun, and that's kind of all I need from something like this. And also, dare I say, that studio version is really, really peak. Like, that is a sleek pop track. But yeah, the performance maybe wasn't really good. The vocal was off, and she also seemed very, very nervous. But that's, I think, very understandable. This is that kind of age bowl performance that I like to see every year, and every single time it makes me very happy, which is why I stan it and why I really, really love Mae Miller. And yeah, we stan her in this household. The United Kingdom places 18th in my ranking, and we can move on to Serbia. Okay, so here is the point of the video in which I'm gonna lose quite a lot of you because I don't really get this. The vision is there and I see it very, very clearly. The staging idea of having basically a boss fight on stage is super sick. This would actually be probably one of my favorite stagings of the entire edition. However, it's not my favorite performance of the edition because the song. I don't like it. I'm sorry. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying I personally don't like it. I think this is one of those that, like, if you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. And I think it's okay to be both. I don't like the whispery nature of the chorus. The instrumental too is like, it's fucking with my brain in ways I don't really enjoy. I'm also not a big fan of Luke's live vocal performance in this one. Sonically, it just doesn't click for me. That staging is a highlight, but the song itself, I just cannot get behind. So unfortunately, this is gonna place where in my ranking? 24th, with Serbia in 24th place, which is quite a coincidence because they also placed 24th in the actual contest. We can move on to the next song, which I am so excited to talk about. My notes for this section are just the word mother repeated like 20 times. And I think that tells you everything you need to know about how I love this entry. This is one of my favorite songs in Eurovision ever. It's so like cute, so jumpy, so classy, but also so flirty. It's so Portuguese. I adore it. I fucking love her outfit. I love the choreo in this. I do think that the staging could have been better. I think it's a little cold and could have reflected the warmth and the like energy, the vibrance of this performance. It doesn't really do that, but it's still fine in my opinion, and I still enjoy watching this performance. This song is a hit, and yeah, I stand. I think Mimi Cut is mother, and this placing 23rd in the actual contest is diabolical. Like, frankly, this should have challenged for the win, and I don't give a shit. Wow, he put Portugal as his winner again. Wow. But like, at this point, what do you guys expect from me? I've made it clear that I am a Portugal stan first and then Human second. So Portugal is my winner of this edition, and I stand by that decision. We just talked about a metaphorical mother, and now we're gonna talk about an actual mother with her family on stage being led by Albina. This song, I feel like many people didn't really get initially, but my duty is to remain tasteful and to tell you that I am absolutely obsessed with Duya. I just find this song very charming, and I think that the message of it is really beautiful, and the performance being done by Albina and her family is incredibly sweet. Like, this feels genuine. They are actually enjoying themselves and singing a song that means something to them. I love Duya. This song is absolutely phenomenal. I love how it builds and how much all the family members add to it. I also adore the final chorus of it. It's so hyped, so dramatic, so Balkan. And I also really, really love Albina's outfit. I love the little, like, I guess dance break they have with these like little pieces of material, like flags or whatever that is. That's so cute. The staging is amazing for it too. I love everything about this. Wow, it's so crazy that we just talked about two different songs, and immediately my first and second place are filled by Portugal and Albania. Like, you guys are either gonna get this ranking or you won't get it at all, and I'm completely fine with that because I am a tasteful person and I can see the musical quality of these entries.
Mi pomoć cela
Initially, I was gonna talk about in this section of like how different fandoms in the Eurovision circles kind of scare me every year. There's always that one artist that has a fandom that is genuinely terrifying. This year, I'd say that was Kyle Alessandro. Last year, I would say it would be Joost Klein, although that one is a little bit more deserved because like there's actually something to get mad at here. So I kind of understand the energy. And in 2023, I remember specifically in the year 2023, it was Joker out. But now, I'd say that Joker out fans are a little bit more chill in my opinion. And actually, the cake of the most wild and scary fandom from 2023 would go to Karia. So yeah, I am afraid of how some of the Karia stans might react when we get to Cha Cha Cha. I think Carpe Diem is a really, really fun entry and I really enjoy its vibe. The song itself is just a lot of fun and I cannot bring myself to say anything remotely negative about it. The staging, I think, really reflected that well. I love the costuming on them. And my absolute favorite moment of the entire performance is when Bojan licks the camera. Like, at the end of the day, I am just a man. This is the entry that made me believe that Slovenia would be on a roll. And that was proven right by their following entry with Raven and Veronica. And then immediately disproven by Klemen. So, yeah, that happens. But at least, you know, Slovenia did get some very, very incredible entries in the contest. And Carpe Diem and Veronica definitely stand out amongst those. And yeah, I think that's a good thing for Slovenia to have. We love Slovenia in this household. With Slovenia on the board in 14th place, we can move on to Switzerland.
I don't wanna be a soldier, soldier.
No. This song is painfully mid and also kind of like... It's not problematic per se, but it's a little tone deaf to me. This specific edition, we did get a few songs that referenced occupation or war or dictatorship, as it was expected because of what happened in 2022 with the still, unfortunately, ongoing invasion on Ukraine. And out of all of those songs that we got, this is by far the worst one. Like, there are songs in this lineup that do that 10 times better. It's so boring. The hook is non-existent. This choreo also is giving like fucking interpretive dance showcase in 5th grade, and I don't like it at all. I think the only like redeeming quality of this would be the staging itself. I think the red and black palette is kind of smart for this, but that's the extent of nice things I can say about Watergun. This is 2nd year in a row where I'm like wondering how the hell did Switzerland even wind up in the final, because their 2022 entry was extremely boring and this one is extremely painfully mid. It's so mediocre that you just basically forget about it immediately. It's so crazy to think that this was followed by a win. Switzerland places 28th in my ranking. Oh god, okay. Not again. Beba was our entry in 2023, and I already talked about this song at length in my other video where I ranked every single Polish entry at Eurovision up until 2025. So I'm gonna keep this short and you can go and watch that video if you haven't already. But honestly, as time went on, I actually ended up enjoying this more and more. I understand now why it was necessary in the grand scheme of things for Poland to send something so just like mediocre and then get a pretty okay result with it. Also expose a lot of the flaws behind the scenes with the corruption of it all. So I actually think that we should be grateful to Beba. Although it is a little funny to look back on such a viral meme song placing just 19th in the contest when it placed like 3rd in the semi-final. Like, okay. Poland placed 26th in my ranking. We are on to Moldova, and this is a fucking banger. Fucking love this song. And Moldova is truly iconic for sending something like this. I think the concept of the song being about a wedding in the forest in like a pagan vibe is so cool. And the song matches that so perfectly. I see the vision and it's fulfilled perfectly. This song seems like it was specifically made in a lab to appeal to me. And I'm gonna take it. Like, this is everything to me. It's so mysterious where it needs to be. And that flute solo is genuinely so insanely hype. Like, the instrumentation... I was so excited to talk about this that I dropped my marker. I'm sorry, but the instrumentation is so good. It literally takes you on a journey. It's dramatic, perfect for Eurovision, but also feels like something a little bit more. Like, there's a story behind it, you know? I love everything about this, which probably isn't too surprising for the people who have been followers of this channel or of me just in general, because I love stuff like this. The costuming too is just perfect. I think Pasha brought an absolute banger, and I'm very, very grateful to him for doing so. I love this. I stream this daily. It's one of my favorite Eurovision songs of all time. From Moldova placing 4th, we go to Spain. This song leaves me slightly conflicted every time I hear it, because like on one hand I love it, it's amazing. I think I adore Blanca Paloma, first of all, and the staging is just incredible in my opinion. It's very intriguing with the lights and the fringe curtain and the choreography. I really, really like that. They almost create their own stage, their own experience. I love the choreo, I love the outfits, everything. I love the archer pose as well, like that's iconic. The song itself is so mesmerizing. However, I don't think I love it as much as other people do. Don't get me wrong, I really, really appreciate the like out of the box nature of this one, the challenging vocal, the vibe and everything in it. However, this song is a challenging listen. Like, it's a little heavy on the ears. It isn't something that I would put on daily. On the other hand though, even if I think that this song is slightly a lot, I still think that it was robbed. Like 5 points from the televote. 5. It kind of makes me upset that high art that actually challenges the viewer a little bit gets shafted like this. And this goes back to the Ulveham thing that I mentioned when we talked about Germany. It's so unfair in my opinion. I just feel like Eurovision would be so much more interesting if entries like this would get rewarded for their out-of-the-box nature. Spain places 13th and we move on to France. So this is another mother alert. This song is absolutely epic. The way that it builds is everything to me. First, you get this a little bit more classical vibe. It's very diva, it's very romantic, very dramatic as well. And then we transition into this absolute pop perfection of a beat. That bridge is also so peak. It's so theatrical, so heightened. It's such a moment. The staging, in my opinion, was a little odd, like the Eiffel Tower of it all. It could be fun, but it is a little corny, and especially when you take into account that Lazara apparently has a fear of heights and they made her do that. That's a little messed up in my opinion. I also don't really like the big ass dress that she has on in the beginning, but still, Lazara is a diva and I absolutely adore her. I think her presence is immaculate and her voice is just perfect. She carries this song like a professional. What I really love about her is the different live streams she's been doing during the Eurovision 2025 season, where she's been like reacting to different songs.
Wait, his milk is his sperm? Is it the sperm? This is vulgar, but I love it.
Like, that was so funny to me. Although my second favorite Lazara moment is when she spoke out about how horrible the French delegation was to her, which insanely horrible and disgusting behavior from what I've seen. They basically tried to have her hide her heritage and present more, I guess, stereotypically French, and she got sued by them. So she posted on her Instagram story like a couple outfits with a question which one she should wear to court. Like, that's what a diva does. We stan Lazara in this household. And also, everybody right now is talking about the Louvre heist, the Louvre robbery, which ultimately very funny. I think all of the jokes around that are just so hilarious. But we need to talk about the actual robbery, because this placing 16th and not anywhere near the top 10 is insane. And just like that, France lands itself in my 3rd place. I already have my entire top 4 filled out. So this is a banger that was horribly staged, but even that wasn't really the problem here, considering this nearly won its semi-final. That first running order position though is absolutely diabolical, and especially for a song like this, I think it's crazy work from the producers. And yeah, I don't support that decision at all. I'm gonna say this, as pop songs go in Eurovision, I think that this is one of the most interesting ones. Specifically when you look at this decade too, it's definitely not a trend follower, but rather a trend setter, because I feel like we've seen similar songs pop up since, but not really before. It also has a very interesting message that I don't feel like we see a lot of labels and how they exploit their artists. The song delivers on the musical front, and it also is 100% perfect when it comes to the lyrics. It's quirky enough to where it fits at Eurovision perfectly, but also there's something more to dig into aside from just the surface, and that I really appreciate. I also think that Taya and Selena are incredible singers. That staging though is absolutely diabolical. I don't know who did this to them. I think it might have been Colleen's husband, but either way, jail to those people, because this was awful. This being the staging just doesn't make sense to me. I feel like just a fraction of the aesthetic from the music video could have been brought to the stage. You know, have them like dance on desks or throw around some paper, make it look like an office setting and like they're destroying it because they're talking about the mistreatment that they experience because of their employer. That would have at least given it some level of fantasy that this staging just doesn't have. But still, Who the Hell is Edgar is an absolute banger. Austria places 6th in my ranking, and we can move on to Armenia. I think a lot of people glorify this song as like one of the best ever to do it, and it being heavily robbed, which in some way I agree with, because I do think 14th is way too low for this. However, I don't think that this is like the second coming of Jesus that many people make it out to be. And let me explain. I think that the first part before the bridge is necessary for storytelling, of course, but I do find it boring a bit. Like, it takes us a while to get to a point in the song in which there's something that actually excites me. It's a similar problem to Before the Party is Over from 2024, although I do think that Future Lover delivers on the build-up way better than that song did. This is phenomenal bridge writing, and to me, this is one of the best Eurovision bridges I've ever seen, especially in like my recent memory. It also feels very genuine, which is something that you can't say about a lot of different Eurovision songs. So I love that, and I also really love the Outro Armenian. I think that is the perfect cherry on top of a incredible cake. I really like Brunette's voice as well. I think her outfit is also great. The staging I think is okay. I like the platform that she's on. What I do not get is the dance break. It has a little of that Kiss Kiss Goodbye vibe to it, in the sense of that it's completely unnecessary. Why are we trying to Chanel-ify this song specifically? It doesn't make sense to me. Armenia places 8th in my ranking. Croatia. Oh my god, this mess. I can't lie, for such a weird entry, it's incredibly catchy and fun to watch. There's so much going on that you simply just cannot look away, and also it has a message that I love. Like, yeah, fuck dictators and warmongers. The song itself shouldn't work. It really shouldn't, but for some reason it does. It's weird, it's hypnotic, and then the performance is just crazy. Them fucking undressing at one point, but also the rocket prop, the dance, and the graphics, like, they threw everything they had at this entry, and I'm so glad they did, because this is an unforgettable viewing experience. I think this is low-key one of the most entertaining but also meaningful entries we've had in a while. Croatia places 19th in my ranking. I decided to swap it with Malta because it didn't feel correct having it below Malta. I do really love it, although I don't listen to it often. I think it's a very situational entry, and that's why it's this low, but I still really love it. So we move on to Cyprus, and yeah.
This, be nice.
I'm finding it.
It take you that long to find it?
It does.
I think Andrew has a good voice, don't get me wrong, but this song is very mid. It's boring. It sounds like a Melody Festival and Heat 4 kind of song that doesn't make it out even to the second chance round, really. I kind of like the hook of the chorus. I think that is a fun part, but these high notes, they are good. Props to you for knowing how to do them, but they don't really fit in this song, in my opinion. Like, I don't really like them in this scenario. The staging for it, I also think it's fine. Like, I don't really think you can take a song like this and stage it badly. He also performs this well, but I think the song is ultimately the problem. This is gonna be one of the shortest sections in the video because I just really don't care about this that much. Cyprus places 30th in my ranking, and we can move on to another mother.
She's powerful. She knows what she wants. When you walk into the room, you know she's a blessing and a curse. She's wild. She's free.
Oh my God, I love Monica. I love her so much. This is one of those songs that on paper, I should be like, ugh. But in reality, I fucking love it. It's just so friendly, but also relatable and approachable. But it doesn't feel overdone or too schmaltzy or boring or too, like, I don't know, inauthentic. You can see her emotions, and I love her for that. This staging is so simple yet effective. In my opinion, it works well to brighten the atmosphere and create the sense of community. This is an open experience for everybody. And I also love that the backing singers for this performance get to come out on the stage at one point and sing with Monica in this like little circle. It feels like a sisterhood. And I love watching it. I am obsessed with this song, and I will always love it. Like, Tuto Tuto, to you too, Queen. I love you. Lithuania places 5th in my ranking, and we can move on to the top 10. Okay, so in my opinion, this entry from Czechia is one of the most epic entries we've had this decade. I think with the message and vibe of the song, and specifically the music video, to have this performance be this minimalistic is such a smart choice. I think it makes everything seem so much more realistic. I could see a world in which this song gets interpreted as one of those like cliche peace songs, which it absolutely isn't, by the way. But because of the staging, it feels so much more grounded in reality, and I really love it. Vesna also performed this perfectly. I mean, the energy is just immaculate. The song itself, I don't feel like anybody could really hate. Like, it's catchy, it's inventive, and it sounds heavenly to me. And it has an amazing message of supporting a fellow Slavic sister, that being Ukraine. And we love that too. You know, good job, Czechia. Czechia places 9th in my ranking. So Australia, okay. I think that this entry confused a lot of folks when it won its semi-final, but honestly, whilst I don't see the vision for that specific result, I really enjoy this song. When it comes to rock songs at Eurovision in recent years, this is definitely a highlight for me. I love the electric elements to it. That keyboard is just everything to me. That outro is also so much fun. The song is amazingly polished, and it's a good time whenever it comes on. The singing for this with the car is also so much fun. And I love how much energy the members of the band bring as well. This is a show, and honestly, I don't think that this should have been a surprise that they did so well and placed in the top 10. Like, duh. Australia places 20th, and I also decided to move Malta to 22nd place because it's starting to look a little ridiculous when compared to some of these songs, but yeah, I still love it though. Estonia brings us another mother alert with Alika. First of all, that self-playing piano is so cool, and I know we probably have seen that before, and it isn't really that innovative, but I still think it's really, really neat. I think that this whole performance feels classy enough for the song, and I like it, but that also isn't the highlight for me. The highlight, though, is Alika's voice. Like, man. I love this song, and I would probably call it the strongest ballad of the year. However, there's one minor detail that I want to point out, and that is the closing high notes and the way it drops off. She hits that, and the performance ends, and she just cuts it. I don't like that. I wish it was just carried a little bit longer and not cut so sharply. Like, maybe land it a little, make it a little bit more softer. Like, just don't cut it in one place. Estonia lands itself in my 7th place, and as you can see, my entire top 10 is already filled, and neither the winner or the runner-up are in it. So that goes to show you how I feel about this edition. Belgium is up next, and we all love Gustav, right? I don't think that's something that we should discuss. I think that's just the case, right? He is father, but this song. Okay. Let's maybe start with the performance of it, because I actually really like it. I love that the backing vocalists are part of it as well. I also think that the voguing, the visuals, it just felt queer to the core. And that's how I like my Eurovision performances. The song is dated in a way that is honestly a little charming. And I also like the content of it, but it's just completely outside my sort of taste in music. I just can't really get into it because of the style of it, but I really do respect it. We do stan Gustav though. He is incredible and he gave a phenomenal performance. I love him. Belgium placed 21st in my ranking. Fuck yeah, this entry. This is one of the most futuristic sounding songs in Eurovision to me. This feels like a song that people in a few years from now on are gonna get. And I think that's why a lot of people were confused about why this placed 6th. But honestly, it should have. It's a very deserving placing for this. This isn't my personal favorite of the year. I mean, just look at this ranking. But I still think it's extremely cool. And this instrumental itself and how dramatic and almost like spooky it is incredible. And I also think that just in general, the style of this and the message, there's just so much to love here. That staging is peak, and it's probably my favorite staging of the year alongside Czechia. Such a cool trick with the different like projections, and it's so cool, and I am really obsessed. Ukraine is the powerhouse of the contest for a reason, and every single time they show up to the contest, I just seem to eat them up. But honestly, deserved. Ukraine places 16th in my ranking.
I'm the best thing that has happened to this fucking competition from the beginning. So, you know, I should have hoorays and salutes.
This is a bop. It's a fun bop. I really enjoy it. It's fun. Sometimes I do get a little tired of the like Scandi pop thing, because we do kind of get it every year in some capacity. But when it's this polished, like I just kind of have to stan. However, still, I don't think there are many things that you could possibly say about this to be like negative. Like this is just objectively very good. That fucking intro in Italian is one of my favorite moments of the entire contest this edition. Like it's so peak. But other than that, I think that this is nicely sung. The staging doesn't really do that much. It doesn't really stay in my memory a lot. It's just kind of there, so I guess it works. Like it's not actively bad, it does its job. Alessandra is so much fun to watch, and I will be mentioning that outfit. Ooh, that outfit. But yeah, Queen of Kings is a really polished entry from head to toe. I think this was a full package.
You can't handle all this pussy. You can't handle it. Giri fanno due vite.
Italy is up next, and okay. I don't think I will ever get this entry. This is the take of the video that I feel like is gonna get me crucified, because this song I just never got the hype behind. Maybe I'm just a hater of some of the Italian ballads, but sometimes they are just so like, there's something about them that pisses me off, and I can't quite put my finger on what that exactly is. The lyrics are good, and I also think Marcus sings it very well, but musically there's just something that's not clicking for me. If I had to choose between this and Brividi, I would choose this any day of the week. I still think that this is way better than that entry, but still, I have my problems with it. And I also find the staging for it really weird. Like, why are there dancers in the back jumping on trampolines? Like, I think it's meant to reflect the two lives that the song is about, you know, Due Vite. But also it's just a little silly, and it doesn't fit really that well. I don't care. It's very stupid. And Due Vite as a song, I'm sorry. I don't get it. Italy places 23rd because I don't get it. We only have 2 more places left on the board, but 3 entries to talk about, because the next one I'm not going to be ranking, and that is Israel. Oh my god, this entry. I used to think that this entry was like, okay. You know, it wasn't really that good, but it also wasn't terrible. And that was before I educated myself on what Israel is. But at the same time, this aged so horribly. Like, the more I look at this, the more I'm just like, okay. Choices were made, definitely. I think the best moment of the entire performance is probably that final choreo section. I think that is a unarguably pretty cool section. However, speaking of choreo, that fucking dance break.
You want to see me dance? No! No! No!
She said, oh, joke her out. Don't worry, I know you're performing after me, but please be calm, because you're not gonna be sleeping on that stage. It's not gonna be dirty, because I am gonna sweep it with my own body. She is a good singer and a good dancer. However, this song is just very messy. Like, it doesn't feel cohesive to me. The way we transition into that dance break specifically is just so like, how did we get here? The entire last minute that happens has no connection to the previous two. And I think that is where the lack of cohesion comes from. Altogether, this is a mess that is quite disjointed, but it does leave an impression, so probably that's why it got so high. I mean, I do think that this was before Israel was like actively campaigning for votes and like buying ads everywhere, so I think that this score is probably pretty legitimate. Like, honestly, is this surprising to anybody that they did so well with a girl bob that doesn't make sense on any musical front, considering that they won the contest with Toy? Can we just get them out already? Like, girl. Yeah. The people's champion. Although, no, that would actually probably be Sidorella. This is fun. This is great. Again, speaking of innovative songs, I would say that this is pretty innovative. The way that it starts with this very harsh, sharp, angry energy almost, and then it transitions into this like kind of pop banger, a little bit more in the like Scandi realm of things, clearly. But it's so much fun and it actually makes sense with the song. It's a party song that is a lot of fun to listen, but also to watch the performance of. The human centipede, the usage of shadows, the color usage, the set building in this performance, like everything is on point. They threw everything they had at it because they truly believed that they could win the contest, and who could blame them? I think I respect this entry, but it's far from my favorite from this edition. Like, I prefer to have emotional connections, clearly, and I don't with this one, but it's crazy and it's party and I enjoy fun. Although I do find the treatment from the fandom of this song very tiring. Like, some people think that this is, again, the second coming of Jesus. This is the best Eurovision song ever, which it clearly isn't. And then there are the other people who think that this is like the worst thing to have ever happened to Eurovision, which it, again, clearly isn't. Like, give me a break, because objectively this is neither of those things. And maybe my judgment is stained by the fact that this song has been like absolutely everywhere in the past few years, and it's already been performed at Eurovision several times. I might be getting tired a little. Is this the song that I listen to the most from this edition? Absolutely not. However, I do really respect it, and I understand why it did so well. I understand why people thought it would win. I don't really have an opinion on whether it should have won, but at the same time, I like Tattoo as well, so I am on neutral ground. Y'all can fight or whatever, but I'm not taking a stance on this one. I'm staying Switzerland on this shit. Finland places 17th in my ranking, and now we can move on to the winner of this edition, which was Sweden with Loreen and Tattoo. Honestly, I don't mind this song. I actually kind of think it's good. I don't think that this is like better than Euphoria or Statements. I mean, especially Statements. Statements washes every single Loreen song ever. Like, it's just so perfect. Tattoo is fine. I like how it's performed with the giant toaster. I think that's really fun. It's cinematic. It's dramatic. It works. I love how the space opens as the performance progresses. I think that is a very, very cool effect, and it's almost like limiting its energy to then lead up to this like explosion at the end. One thing that no one can come for with Loreen is the stage presence, it's the performance. She is a great performer. She sings this very well. This is just incredible to see. I also do enjoy this song, and Personally, I also have the intro of the song engraved in my mind because of the 2024 artist reveal videos that were posted on Instagram with the, you know, the first few notes of Tattoo as like a sound for them. That was really, really fun. I think I get why this won the jury and won the entire contest. And I think it honestly kind of deserved to. Would I have preferred someone else? Yeah, had it been my way, we would have been going to Lisbon in 2024, but we clearly didn't. And honestly, I am not gonna sit here and discredit her win. I think it's fair whether you like it or not. She won fair and square. And also, I would like to bring up the fact that she didn't have to pay for an ad campaign in order to do that. Sweden places 11th in my ranking, and with that, we are done with this year. Honestly, looking back at 2023 is almost pleasant because there's so many songs that I love. And like when you look past the discourse of Kaya versus Loreen, it's actually a pretty fun year as we come to learn through this video. So yeah, I honestly really like this series of going down memory lane with different editions. I feel like now the most clear one to do next for November is gonna be 2024. And I think I'm just gonna do that. To complete the decade, but you know, we'll see. Maybe I'll change my mind. Yeah, I think that's it for today. Please let me know what you thought of my ranking. I'm sure many people are not gonna like it, but at this point, I'm just kind of used to it. And yeah, let me know if you have any opinions about this year. Leave your hot takes in the comments down below. Leave your opinions, your rankings as well. I would love to read them when I'm gonna have time. You can always as well subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Just a quick reminder, you can like, comment down below, share this video around. Take care, and I'll see you next week. Bye.